Behind me here is City Hall, where the Mayor of London's based. The Mayor's agreed with the government to cut millions of pounds from TfL's budget, and they're trying to make changes to jobs, pensions and agreements in order to fund that. A couple of important documents have come out of here in the last few weeks. This is the 23-24 TfL budget. Interestingly, what this shows is that TfL, across all transport modes, is now making an operational profit again. So the case for cuts has been shot to pieces, but that doesn't mean that they're going to stop. This document's been produced by the Pensions Oversight Committee of Greater London Assembly members. And the data in this document is frightening. What it shows is that if the TfL pension was to get transferred into the local government pension scheme, RMT members working for London Underground would suffer massive pension cuts and increases in the contributions that we pay for our pension. For over a year now, RMT members on London Underground have been fighting to defend our jobs, pensions and agreements. The pension has been a major issue in this, with the employer looking to cut £100 million from pension contributions. This is a result of an agreement that they've done with the government based on the financing agreement, which mandates them to look for £100 million of savings. And after the last announcement from the company, it's clear that the only option that both the government and TfL can agree on is to transfer our pension, the TfL pension, into the local government pension scheme. They think that this could save them £60 million. But why is this happening at the moment? The latest budget figures from TfL show that the TfL budget is actually now in an operational surplus. That's like the position before COVID. What it means is that apart from big renewal projects where they still get government funding, that the operational day-to-day costs of TfL, right across all the different sections of TfL, are now in surplus again. So there's absolutely no excuse for looking to smash our pensions up in order to save even more money. What would the implications be if they get away with pushing us into the local government pension scheme? Well, the figures that have come out from the Greater London Authority show that 82% of members of the TfL fund last year retired before the age of 65. Over the last 5 years, the average is well into the 80%. Most people retire before the age of 65, which is no surprise when you think about the impact that you feel from shift working and working round the clock. In the future, if you get pushed into the local government pension scheme, the pension age, the retirement age, will get pushed up from 65 to the state retirement age. For most people in the fund at the moment, that would be 68 and possibly even more in the future. But it's worse than that, because if you go below the age of 68, then you take an actuarial reduction in the local government pension scheme. And what that means in reality is that anyone going at the age of 60 in the future would lose 32% of the pension. That's a third of the pension gone just at a stroke, just like that. And in return for that, you'd pay higher contributions. The 5% standard rate in the TfL pension scheme is up to 12.5% in the tiered local government pension scheme. The balance of risk gets changed. So if the city bankers manage to crash the economy again, like they did in 2008, and all the asset prices go down, what the local government pension scheme would do is they would come to you and say, you've got to pay more to make up the difference. In the TfL scheme, the responsibility falls entirely on the employer to make up any shortfall. And finally, what London Underground have been telling us up to now, that all accrued benefits are safe, is now in question. They've written to the government, asking the government what their attitude towards accrued benefits is. Because if we get transferred into the local government pension scheme, then there's no knowing what happens to your accrued benefits. New legislation would be needed, and a completely bespoke way of dealing with them would have to be created. So London Underground can no longer say that there's absolutely no risk to your accrued benefits. All of this and more. The local government scheme uses CPI to inflate the pension in payment, not RPI. The local government scheme is based on a career average pension rather than a final salary pension. There's all sorts of disadvantages to it, which overall mean that TfL would expect to save £60 million by switching to it. So what do you need to do? You need to vote yes in the ballot, the re-ballot, for our dispute. We need to make sure we've got another mandate so as we can keep pushing them back. Don't forget, they wanted to have this pension change being implemented from March of last year. They haven't been able to do that because we fought back. We've taken strike action, we've campaigned and we've fought back. We need to keep doing that. And we can only do that if you return your ballot paper, vote yes for strike action, yes for action short of. Let's keep pushing them back. Let's defend our pension.